The show is beginning. For those of you I've never met, I'm Brian Deneen. I'm the president of the Sacramento Amiga Computer Club, the sponsor of the show, the main sponsor. And of course, we have lots of other sponsors who are here with us, A-EON Technologies and several others who are helping to make this a free admission show. The first Amiwest shows were $25 a head in 1998. So at least be sure to go see our sponsors and tell them thank you for sponsoring our show. They have made it possible for us to continue. This is the 28th Amiwest Show, 28 years in a row, and we're happy to have all of you here. And good to see my friend L.D. Stevens just walking in the door. I was hoping he'd be here this week. Just wanted to make a few more announcements about what you can expect to find. If you paid for or reserved a banquet ticket, go to table number 1 back there to pick up your banquet ticket. Brian Carpignano has them. For those of you who have badges, he has those too. The SAC sales table, tables 2 and 3 right behind the reception table. And also the SAC raffle table. Now there's lots of interesting stuff for the raffle. Go see the raffle people. Table 4 has, we have royalty with us today. Her name is Lorraine. And we have all of the original wire wrap cards on table number 4 to go and see. Now you can't play with them. Please don't pick them up because they're kind of fragile after all these years. But at least you can see how Amigadom started. Mr. Toast's Tech Bench, benches 5 and 6, Chris Nelson, one of the members of our club, is a die-hard technician. If you have a simple Amiga repair, no, he can't do a recap at the show, sorry. But he can do simple stuff. Go see him, and he's really good at it. He's done a lot of work for me, too. So, 7, 8, 9, and 10, A-EON Technologies, aforementioned. They have, I believe, Trevor, do you have A600s for sale? How about 1200s? 1222? Okay, 1222. Is in the freight. Exactly. So A600GS and A1222 are available. A1200NG is currently at the DHL warehouse awaiting pickup. Delayed for about 5 days by, you guessed it, customs. So table number 11, AAA Technology. They are, if I don't miss my guess, they are the ones who were here from France. So go pay them a visit and say thank you for coming. Table number 12 back there, almost on the wall. It's not quite on the wall, but it's a display called the Future Wall. Chris Collins put that together for Amiga 40th. That was at the Computer History Museum in, I believe it was July, if I don't miss my guess. I was there, but it's been a long time ago. And then 13, 14, and 15, the other group of Amigoids from the Bay Area. Duncan McDougall, where are you, Duncan? Are you here yet? Wave at me if you are. No, I think he had a kind of a hard night. But he'll be there, and they have good things to show too. Table 16, or Area 16, kind of like Area 52, is the Hexapod Robots by Dave Combs. Dave, wave at me so people can see you. There we are. Got Hexapod Robots there. Table 17, SAC Guy from Michael Salcedo, one of our longtime SAC members. Table 18, Infocessories. Infocessories has lots of hardware, 60 original equipment hardware cards for sale, and trying to get the inventory reduced in my collection. Also, the Rebel distribution that runs on the Amiga is available there. Also, Amiga 1000 mice and keyboards for sale. Very slightly used. They've all been tested. They all work. The mice are new old stock, so they've never been used. And let's see, what else do I have there? I think that's pretty much it for that. So table 19, Amiga PCBs by Francis Bernier. Table 20, the future of SCSI. Stefan Reinauer is doing some updates to the SCSI interface for the Amiga. 21, Alps Media, Louis Deturi. Louis, are you back there? Can you hear me? He's kind of hard of hearing. There he is. Wave at us, Louis. Yeah, there you go. Alps Media with Louis. He's been here for a long time, too. 22, OS 3.3 Beta is back there. One of our club members who is also our host over here, Brian Carpignano. So he's got the latest, I believe unreleased yet, version of OS 3.3. Rabbit Hole Computing, 23 and 24. And they have lots of great stuff for SCSI interface as well. Table 25, the Ultimate 64 controller. Table 26, Boing and Beyond. The Amiga 3DO DNA Experience, 26 and 27. 28, Amigas Are an Appliance, Chris Satterfield. And 29, picture this, Theodore Coulis. Robert Pierce has a Table 30 A500 and A2000 display. The Amiwest Games Competition, if you haven't entered yet, it's still time. You can still enter to play the game and win the trophy. And the trophy is on display back there. 38, 39, 40, and 41 is lunch tables, which are up here. Amiwest Broadcast is right here. And along with that has, breakfast too. Oh my gosh. Well, yeah, a little donation for the breakfast, please. This is kind of off the cuff, unofficial. So the Amiwest Broadcast over here, and also Amiga 040 merchandise. He's got the 040 pins available and all kinds of other stuff from the 40th anniversary celebration that we had in July. And some 30th too, huh? Wow, very cool. Yeah. So, last but not least, the AV workstation, which is over here as well. Robert Bernardo, thank you, Robert, for being our cameraman again for Amiwest for the umpteen-thousandth year. I think, 20 years right now? Something like that. So let's give Robert a hand. Yeah, there we go. So that's the show in a kind of a beach ball. And I wouldn't say nutshell because it's just too much to do. But be sure to have a lot of fun, talk to everybody, patronize everybody's table. And thank you for coming. Next year will be the 40th anniversary of the Sacramento Amiga Computer Club. And we will definitely have something special for that here at Amiwest. We're working on, at least I am working on, a new space. So it may be at a different location. We'll see. But even if it's the same old location, it'll be kind of a blowout. We're going to make it a blowout, no matter what. So if you have any questions, ask Brian Carpignano over at the table or back at his table with the OS 3.3 beta. He knows all the answers to the questions. And it's really nice. Oh, and I wanted to thank the new leadership for Amiwest, Bill Borsari. Raise your hand, Bill. Yeah, right there. Chris Nelson. Raise your hand high. Jerry Gray, also SAC VP. Chris is SAC Secretary. Brian Carpignano back there at the back. And Marshall Elfstrand right there in the table. Raise your hand, Marshall. Yeah, you're on the list. You're on the list. So thank you to all of you guys. They're all professional project managers. So, you know, they know what they're doing. And at least we kept it going long enough for them to take over, which is really great. So have a really great show. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, from here on the back, I think I see Mr. Dickinson's image on the screen. So I think that he is next. Is that correct? Didn't get an answer. So we'll presume that he's next. I'm going to hand him the mic. Have a great show, everybody.
All right. Good morning. Good morning, Amiwest. Yeah. Right, this is my third show in 3 weeks. I'm just about over it. But look, it's great to be back at Amiwest. It's probably the friendliest Amiga show in the world. I would have said that Amiga Island was up there close, but they don't do the show anymore, so Amiwest got #1 for the moment. Look, I've just come from Germany, actually from SWAG. That was a Southwest Amiga group, and that was a real traditional user group show, about 100 people. It was really good fun. I really enjoyed Amiga Germany. There was about 1,200 people on the first day. Everyone was Amigan, right? And if any of you made it to Amiga 40 in Mountain View, who was at Mountain View? Yeah, quite a few. That was a great show. Of course, we were part of VCF West. And I think there was 2,500 or 3,000 people there over the weekend. They said it was about 1,000 more than they usually get, so I'm hoping the 1,000 were all Amigans. But the Germany show was particularly good because it was just Amiga, and it was unbelievably busy. It was great. So, I mean, I think back to 2010, my first Amiwest show. We were displaying the AmigaOne X1000 for the first time. It was very, very flaky. It was the first time I sponsored an Amiwest. 16 years later, I've sponsored every year, and I'm pleased to be sponsoring again in 2025. So, yeah. And I'm great. Thanks. And it's really good to see a lot of people that were around there in 2010. Now, we've got a very slow slide show today, I'm sorry, so I'm going to try, and you have to bear with me, I think. Oh, hopefully it's working. Now, back in 2010, I had black hair. It was aided by Grecian 2000, whatever it's called, but it was, it wasn't quite this color, but this is my natural color now. And I guess it just shows, I look around the room and I see Paul over there, LD, Kevin. We've all gone a bit like that, but I like to see younger people. And I can actually see younger people here. It's amazing, which is really good, because it means we aren't dying. Now, there we are. There's me back on the left, and there's up the late Chuck in the middle. Long, you know, a great servant to Amiwest over the years. And that man on the end is actually, you can tell who's that on the end then? Can you recognize him? Nobody knows? Yeah. Yeah, so there we are. Our president of the show, of the Amiwest. Now today I was going to talk about a number of things, but really this is a celebration of the Amiga 40th, and it's great that we're here at Amiwest and can do that. There's a few people that have passed on the way, both in the Amiga scene, and that's another Amiga developer just came in, Mike Silcott. His name's actually on the motherboard. For some reason I can't pronounce his surname. I keep looking at it, and it's Slithcat, right? The Amiga motherboard, but they never used it in the final version. Oh, Commodore didn't use it, did they? Oh, no, but when Commodore took over, they didn't use the code you created. No, so, yeah. But he is on the motherboard, so if you want to go and speak to him, he's got great stories. The reason I put some of these up was to remind myself and you of just what's happened in the last 40 years. Actually, really, since 2010, so it's the last 15 years. And if anyone reads Amiga Future, you'll know I keep a soapbox article in there, Trevor's Amiga Soapbox, and I try to talk about all sorts of things Amiga and things that aren't. I've also written articles about all of the classic machines and all of the companies that were involved in building the Amiga, or the Amiga market, and what happened to them after Commodore went bust. My most recent one was the 3-parts interview with John Bulmer from Scala, and it was supposed to be just one issue, but he kept me talking for 4 hours, and it was so interesting I thought I can't leave any of this out, so I created an interview which it goes over 3 copies. So if any of you read Amiga Future, you can see that interview there. Of course, if you know me, you know that I'm crazy, and I've written a trilogy about what happened to the Commodore and Amiga IP after the failed attempt to buy Amiga by David Pleasance and Colin Proudfoot, Commodore UK. And it's a story of, it's a great story. I think it's great. I had one guy say that he bought it at the Amiga Germany show, and he had 4 kids, and every night after he got the kids to bed, he couldn't put the book down. So I thought, well, that's who I wrote it for. I wrote it for nutters like me, people that really are into the Amiga. I don't care if it's too detailed or it's not snazzy. It's about the Amiga, it's about the company, it's about the people, it's about us. That's who it's about. And there's pictures of a number of people in the show. Paul's there. There's lots of people. And if you want to buy the books, they're sold by David Pleasance. He gets all the money for selling the books. But I do have some at the back of Volume 1 and 2. You probably all got them, but if you haven't, you're welcome to come and buy them. One thing when you go to these shows, you learn lots of little secrets. And today I do want to tell you some of them because I think it's fun to hear them. We all know of the beautiful image of Debbie Harry, don't we? Created by Andy Warhol. Okay? Anyone that was Amiga 40, there's the beautiful image. Debbie Harry created by Andy Warhol. Yes? No. It's fake. And I'll tell you why. We got to, at Amiga 40, a few of us got to go to RJ's house, where we met a guy called Jeff Brunette, who was actually the young engineer that taught Andy Warhol how to paint on the Amiga. And he had no idea who Andy Warhol was, but he knew who Debbie Harry was, right? So, Paul, for you, that's the actual image created on the night. The one at the top. And what happened was, they would take a black and white scan image, capture it, put it on a disc, take it to Amiga, and let Andy Warhol do his flood fill, right? In the dress rehearsal, they got a really nice black and white image, took it to the computer, he did a few things, they didn't do much. On the night, the lights were down low, the black and white image capture wasn't very good, put it in the Amiga, that's what happened. But on the publicity material they sent out afterwards, you see this. Now, there's 2 things that give it away. Well, first of all, that was created by him. He created it after the show. So when you see the video and you see, I'm doing this, it's him doing it. Another thing that gives it away, that's called Graphic Craft version 2.7, release 06. That says ProPaint version 27, release 14. So there you are. And that secret was kept secret until last year, about 40 years, because they didn't want to destroy the provenance of that image. But Andy Warhol, because he visited Andy Warhol a number of times, gave him a floppy disk with 10 original Warhol paintings or images created on the Amiga. And if you've got $26 million, it's yours today. So not bad for a young guy, eh? The other thing was, and I know I'm going on a bit here, the other thing was, he was sitting next to Debbie Harry in the dress rehearsal, and he's like, oh, Debbie Harry. I'd have been doing the same, to be honest. She was gorgeous, right? So he's sitting next to her, and she's got this sparkly outfit on. It looks like snake skinny, sparkly. And he goes, oh, that must be very uncomfortable, Miss Harry. She says, yes, but it's very soft inside. Do you want to feel? So, yeah, I think I'd have fainted there as well. So I really wanted to tell that story. I know it's nothing to do with A-EON or anything else, but I think it's part of our history. It's part of our heritage. And that's why we're Amigans, because we're all crazy.
Test.
Now, best laid plans of men and mice. For Amiga 35, I worked with Zach Weddington to create an extended version of Viva Amiga. The original film, which was 1 hour long, it was really good, a bittersweet story. We wanted to make it a bit more positive for Amiga 35, so we created a 2 hour 20 version, which I funded. I have the distribution rights for that, and I plan to use it at Amiga 35. Then COVID stepped in, okay? But the remix version, if anyone wants a copy of the remix version, a digital download, I will send you a link. Just send me an email, or give me your email address, and I'll send you a link. It's 2 hours 20. There's a lot more information in there, a lot more interviews, and so you are able to watch it if you want to, okay? Pleasure. It was interesting because if you remember, 2010 is when Zach started filming for the video. So if you watch the video, you'll see a dyed black hair Trevor. And then at 2015, he's in Germany, and you'll see a gray-haired Trevor. So that's what 5 years of working on the Amiga does for you, right? But you know, why we're here, why I'm here as A-EON Technology. Obviously, we've created a number of PowerPC boards over the years. The first one was the X1000. I mean, that's my pride and joy because I spent so much time and effort on that one. The X5000 20 released in 2017. That was a long, drawn-out progress as well because of various things happening in the background. The 2019, the X5040, the faster version of the X5000. And at last, it was like a marathon, the A1222 Plus. That was actually, motherboard was developed and designed at the same time as the X5000. Released at the end of to beta testers, to the developers at the end of 2014, beginning of 2015. It took 9 years to get that released. And if anyone knows the background of the story, you'll appreciate that. I'm not just involved with A-EON Technology, I'm also involved now with AmigaKit. And I'm actually a very small shareholder in Hyperion. So I do see it aside of the PowerPC, next generation, and the growing next generation 68K systems. So it's actually quite interesting seeing both sides of it and seeing them come together and start to merge. As you know, A-EON's worked on lots of software. I'm not going to talk about our software because I haven't got an awful lot of time today telling these little stories. I think it's important to tell the stories. You know what A-EON does. We create a lot of software and drivers for the PowerPC Amiga, for the AmigaOne series. And I think we're running on Steam power today. And we support all operating systems. You know, MorphOS team support us, the OS4 team support us, and we produce our own software as well. And of course, there's the Debbie Harry image down below with fake. But it doesn't matter. That's great. To me, that's just part of the story of Andy Warhol, Debbie Harry, and the launch of the Amiga. Our enhancer, because we're selling expensive hardware, expensive PowerPC hardware, we like to offer our customers an upgraded experience. So not everyone likes the enhancer, but it's a version 2.3 we've held back because OS 4.1 final edition update 3, I think I got that right, has just been released, and we want to make sure there's no incompatibilities because one thing you don't want is people updating their computers to update 3 and then nothing working. So that should be coming out before Christmas, according to Matthew. And we also have enhancer version 54, and that allows us to create a separate OS 4 setup, so you don't have to contaminate your Hyperion OS 4 if that's what you want to do. So some people do that. Some people keep two partitions, one which is OS 4 and one which is enhanced OS 4, and they keep them separate. One thing we planned with AmiStore way back was to have it for 68K and PowerPC. The PowerPC version's been running for a long time. The 68K version is about to be launched on the A600GS and the A1200NG. So that should make things much better for the 68K guys, that, which is actually a really large market. One thing we realize is PowerPC. I prefer PowerPC because that's what I grew up with in recent years. But the classic market is massive. Retro market is massive at the moment, not just for Amigas, for all retro machines. Guys who are in their teens, early teens, are now in their 30s, 40s, and they've now got disposable income, and they want to relive some of the games and programs they played in their youth. Our Linux team, we have a fantastic Linux team of volunteers headed by Christian Zagotsky, a German, and he is like a machine. He makes sure our hardware is supported by the mainstream Linux kernel, and he makes sure that it runs dozens, our hardware runs dozens of, I say a dozen PowerPC Linux distributions. So he's an amazing guy, and he helped us out at Amiga Germany, because he speaks German. However, most Germans speak better English than the English, so it's kind of irrelevant. Yeah, I'm going to talk now about some of the other things, some of the 68K equipment that we're producing. You all saw the A600GS last year. Anyone that's got one will know it's regularly updated. There are updates coming out all the time. We hope to be able to show, I think Matthew last year talked about the A1200 NG. We hope to be able to show that at the show, working in its case. Unfortunately, it's stuck. It's stuck in Sacramento at FedEx now. It finally got released by customs. So hopefully we can get someone to go down to FedEx, pick it up, and then you'll be able to see the motherboard. It's a complete motherboard replacement. It continues to have DB9s, serial port, audio ports, and a video port, but it also has HDMI, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, you name it. So it fits in your A1200 case and gives you a modern Amiga experience, but retains the classic element, the classic legacy. And of course, it's very fast. It's really fast. One of the things I wanted to talk about, and I don't know whether, is Matthew here? Is Matthew around at all? Because he's on next. If he's not, I might just leave Matthew out if he's not here, and we'll go on to Steve after me, okay? How are we doing for time? Great, okay. Right, one of the things that's been recently produced, and we demonstrated this at Amiga 40 in Mountain View, is the native 68K web browser running on a Chromium-based engine. It finally gives classic Amiga users a browser which you can use. And from my point of view, I think a browser now is about 90% of a computer. You use it for everything. And nothing I've thrown at this browser fails. And that includes ChatGPT, YouTube, Facebook, complicated websites. So it's really, really impressive. I was not particularly in favor of this sort of system, but now I've got this browser working on it. It makes it really usable, because I'm not really a game player. People buy this to play games, of course. But I'm pleased to announce today that now Matthew was going to do this, but he's not here. I think he's building systems in the bedroom. I'm pleased to announce today that we've now got a upgrade to the A1200 NG, and it's a plug-in card, goes in the trapdoor slot of an A1200, and it gives you an Amiga-like system at 1935 MIPS, 101 times faster than the A4000. 18, yeah, it's silly numbers. It's silly numbers. It's really fast at 2.4 gigahertz processor in there, ARM-based, and it just blows everything away. That's the developer is Andy Broad for Amiga Kit. That's Andy playing on a YouTube video. Take my word for it. Andy's a blues guitarist. We've had him at Amiwest as a speaker 1 year, and he gave us a demonstration of his vocal skills and guitar skills. That's him. He posted that to us yesterday. That is a running YouTube. It can run full screen. It plays anything you throw at it. Now, I just wish we had that on OS 4. So that is the plug-in card for the A1200, for the A12 and NGE. We'll just plug in through the trapdoor slot and give you all the capabilities of the A4000 NGs. Matthew's calling out the A4000 NG. So, but if you've got an A12 and NG, you're not going to miss out. You can plug in your accelerator card and off you go. Now, if you come over there later, I've got this board. It's a new PowerPC motherboard. It was the brainchild of Dave Kuhlman. Using the technical genius of Harold Canning, he funded the development of a brand new PowerPC motherboard. 1.4 gigs, and they overclocked it to 1.6. They have a big heat fan and heatsink. It's not quite as fast as the X1000, but it's good enough. The aim was to create a board that was less expensive. When I say less expensive, I mean it's going to be in the range of 300 to 400 euros, 450 euros. The issue he's finding now, as you always find out, is that you order from China, you get 25 boards in, and 7 or 8 are dead. And actually the work on making the boards work and getting them up and repairing them and laying them out adds so much more to the cost. It's not as cheap as just getting boards from China. So, but I think they'll overcome that problem. And if they do, we're working with them to hopefully deliver a new PowerPC motherboard at a lower cost than currently available. But it all comes down to the cost of repair and maintenance, the cost of support. So fingers crossed on that one. Dave's funded it all himself so far. At Amiga Germany, they had 5 MorphOS systems running on the board. The good news for OS 4 is we now have a new baseline model for the X5000. The CPU uses the same base CPU, the E550, 5500. Thank you. Uses the same baseline, and so we think it'll be quite easy to port across. The good news is, as Harold Canning's already written drivers for OS 4, which are available on Enhancer, which for the NVMe hard drive, for audio, for other things. So we think the drive issue shouldn't be a problem. It's just the kernel. And Steve Soley, who heads my exec SJ team, has already created a preliminary kernel for the new motherboard. I'm pleased to say that a board is on the way to Steve, and a complete system has already been delivered to Thomas Frieden. So we should be porting exec SG in the very near future. OS 4 will take a little bit more because obviously negotiations have to take place with the owners of OS 4, the Hyperion, and we have to decide whether we're running a beta test program like before to get the boards into the hands of a number of OS 4 beta testers, so we make sure we have a system that's really robust. So more on that later. But the good news, for me at least, after 6 years of working on this and spending quite a lot of money, we finally appear to have a multi-core working on PowerPC. And hopefully Bill's going to show us a little demo. Okay? It's a very small demo, yeah. A micro demo. But if you remember the last demo we had from Steve Soley during one of the developer conferences, I think ExecSG powered multi-core lasted for about 2 seconds, 3 seconds? Less than 10, okay. So hopefully it's more than 10. It boots, which is good. So we really are. I was really pleased because I found this out on the eve of my presentation at Amiga Germany, because I was hoping to have some news. We were hoping to have it for a real demonstration, and I got this email from Steve. I've got it working. It works. I can compile. I can run games at the same time. I can do all these things. It's not totally stable. Okay, he's made it more stable, and hopefully that's what Bill will show you. So I just wanted to say, look, it's been 40 years of Amiga. Actually, for me, it's been probably 39 years of Amiga, because I was still a Commodore 128D guy at the time until it blew up. It's 16 years of A-EON, believe it or not, and it's 20 years of Amiga Kit. They started before us. Okay? So anyway, I just want to say I really am pleased to be here again. I'm pleased to be talking to you. And if you want to come and talk to me about Amiga stories, share your Amiga stories with me. That would be great. Because who knows, I might even write another book. Hopefully the last slide says not dead yet, but I mean me as well as everything else, right? Anyway, right. Any questions? Any questions? Don't be afraid to ask. Come on. There we are, not dead yet.
In all the developments that you're working on, the kernel was the hardest problem to solve.
The kernel? Well, everyone says it can't be. Yeah. What was the hardest problem to solve for the kernel? Well, everyone said it couldn't be done. It's not possible to make Amiga OS multiple. That was the first thing. Mind you, I heard from Thomas Frieden that when he first started to port exec SG from the original exec, he was told you'll not be able to do it. It's not possible. So, it's yeah. There's a lot of experts out there who know better than yourself. So that's the reason. So the hardest thing was actually timing as well. I mean, these guys have to do other jobs. You know, unfortunately, just working on Amiga doesn't pay for developers. So they have day jobs, and so I think that was probably the hardest problem. Anybody else? If not, we're going to move straight on to Steve Soley, and you can ask Steve all the hard technical questions.